Good Wednesday morning, folks, and welcome to GBN Live. We are so excited that you're here with us today. And you know what, guys, if you have joined us over the last 2 weeks, know that we also have a cool giveaway at the end of the show. So make sure you stick around with that. All you have to do is put in hashtag GBN Rocks, and we will get you entered into that contest. But that's going to be open a little bit later. And I want you guys to know that we are just loving what we're doing here with GBN. We've got some new features. It's going to be fun. And today I have with us the one and only Ulitza Kronemeyer, who is with New York Life. She's part of our Myrtle Beach chapter, and she is going to be joining us live here in just a second. And let's see if we can go ahead and get Ulitza in here. Come on in, Ulitza.
Hey, Todd. Good morning.
Well, we're still up here on the, there we go. You know, technology, gotta love it. But anyway, guys, this is the one and only Ulitza Kronemeyer right in front of me. How cool is that? Guys, please, today, if you have comments or questions for her, put those in your whatever social media channel you're working on, and we'll get those up below. But Ulitza, you are well known for selfies.
Yes.
And it took me forever to get a selfie, so I had to make one. Boom, there it is. It's coming over us there, but you know, I had to put it in the middle. I had to Photoshop myself in, but I have my selfie right there with Ulitza.
I like to challenge you now, you know, like you can't just be easy and selfie anymore. So I really wanted to make sure that I challenge you and go above and beyond. So thank you.
So we had to do something like this.
Yes.
That's great. Well, Ulitza, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, your family, that kind of stuff. Let us know.
So I'm originally from South Africa. A lot of people, that's why I do have an accent, right? And like people pick that up a little bit, but I've been in the States for about 20 years. So I came over as a nanny officially. Yes. So, and when I first got here, I told my mom I was born in the wrong country. I was like, I am American sold. So lived up in New Jersey, took care of a little girl. Her name was Alexa. And just loved it. Like I said, loved the family. And they were my biggest inspiration because they actually paid for me to go to college.
Oh, there you go.
So I got my college degree, American, yay!
There.
And then after that, just paid, you know, I always tell the story, I'm like, Brooklyn, don't listen. But I walked into this hole-in-the-wall bar, and that's where I met my husband. So funny story, it does work out. 17 years of marriage, and we're doing good. But we moved down to South Carolina, and just because it was so expensive, and my in-laws were down here, and haven't lived since. So we are really local now, apparently, I've been told.
Yeah. So now I have to know, is Alexa the girl that you were the nanny for? Is she the one in your chapter in Myrtle Beach?
Oh, yeah. I know Alexa's from Philly, too, I think. So, yeah.
Well, there you go. Yes. I know. Yeah. See, and Brooklyn, that girl is crazy. I love her to death. She is just, her personality is just amazing. So visit Ulitza on her Facebook page, and you'll be able to see all kinds of videos with Brooklyn. So that's cool. So I learned something about New York Life that I knew they'd been around for many years, but I didn't realize that they had been around. I think this year or last year was their 175th anniversary.
170, yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. So they're a very old company. And a lot of people actually, it's sometimes funny when I say New York Life, and, you know, the Southerners are like, oh, New York. I'm like, no, we've actually been a very Southern company because our third office opened up in Charleston in like 1845. So we've been local in the community for a really, really long time.
That's great. And I know New York Life's been around forever. They're a great company. But they're well known for their life insurance. But I also know that they have many different types of products and specifically different types of life insurance that people may not know about. Can you talk about some of those?
Yes, so there is a lot. You know, they are known for life insurance. We're the largest mutual insurance company in the industry. And usually when I talk to clients, I'm like, what does that mean, right, to you? And it means that we don't have stockholders. So we're owned by policyholders. And that makes a difference because the decisions that New York Life makes is based on what would benefit the policyholder. And I love that because it's focused, you know, on what makes the customer and what's the best interest for them. But within that realm, we have, yes, like you mentioned, so many different policies. And it really comes down to like term, whole life permanent, universal, variable. There's a lot that goes into it, right? But
so you're speaking South African to me right now. I'll tell y'all a funny quick story. Her mother's birthday was a couple months ago, and I learned how to say happy birthday in, what's the name?
Afrikaans.
Afrikaans.
Yes.
That's the native language.
Yes.
She laughed at me. Her mother laughed at me because the Southern drawl just did not cut it. But I
It was
tried.
a great attempt.
It was a
Yes,
great
was
attempt.
really,
That's
really
right.
good. No, it was fun. So, yes.
So talk to us about this. What's the difference between the whole life and the term life and variable life and all that
So
foreign
basically,
language?
yes, like, and that's usually, when I start asking questions, people are like, their eyes glaze over. I'm like, it's okay, we got this. So primarily what you have to know is like term is exactly what it means, right? You have it for a specific period of time. Permanent is for your permanent of your life, until whether it's 100, whatever your age you make it till. And then universal is kind of like a mixture between term and whole life. So you kind of like combine the two. And then variable, a lot of people don't know about that one. They don't really speak about it, but that's tied to the stock market. So you can actually have an investment tied to life insurance product. Yeah.
Well, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the stock market's not doing great right at the moment.
Hey, well, guess what? I'm like, if there's a sale, you should go out and look for it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I love that.
On sale now.
Stocks are on sale. Call Ulitza. So I'm guilty of this, but there's different changes or different times in one's life that change life events, I guess we could call them, whether it's getting married, getting a divorce, buying a house, having kids, whatever that is. I'm guilty of not having my policy looked at and updated regularly. What do you recommend on that?
So I definitely, and you're right. I'm like, most of the time people are like, set it and forget it, right? And I'm like, it's not one of those things, because just like you see your CPA every year, you might need to see your attorney. The same thing with your financial planner and your life insurance agent, because believe it or not, a lot of the mortality rates change, right? Because we are living longer.
Sure.
So that makes a huge difference for policies. There's a lot of changes that happens every year. So you definitely want to make sure. And that's why having an agent, that's why I love being local, because you have that person that can sit next to you at a table and say, okay, this is what we put in place, last year. Where are you at right now? Did we get married?
Right.
Did we have a baby? That type of thing.
I know a lot of financial advisors are trying to implement where they look at their clients' portfolios like once a quarter now.
Mm-hmm.
Some used to do it once a year. I've even heard some say, every 6 months or whatever. How often do you recommend looking at your policies?
So when we're talking about life insurance, that's definitely annual. But what I do is like, I base it on what the needs of my clients are, because some of them like hands-on and they want to meet quarterly. Some of them
Sure.
like, catch me up in the year, I'm good. So it just kind of depends on what your premise is. But definitely, like I said, at least once a year, if anything.
Yeah. And how young can somebody get a policy?
15 days.
15 days old, they can get a policy. I've got one on my daughter and my son, which is good. But,
Yes.
And one thing that a lot of people, I think, have a misconception about too is when you get them that young, the policies are really cost effective. I mean, they're really low.
It is. It's one of those things. Like, I didn't know about it until I was in this field, right? And getting one for Brooklyn. It is really, it's something that, I'm very passionate about, because no one wants to think about that, right? And getting something on your kid. But what it does is it actually saves their health. So it doesn't matter what happens, because I don't know what Brooklyn's house going to be like. 13,
Right.
20. I mean,
Right.
We all have stories about, kids that's ill. So I take that off the table for her right away, because I know that she's going to need life insurance later on for her family.
Yeah.
So,
and some of those can be cashed in for college, right?
So yes, there's a couple different policies, and depending on really, again, what you want, what the focus of that policy is, there's different ways you can use it. Yes.
So you have life insurance policy, and I know that New York Life offers a lot of other types of policies and even just benefits. And let's talk about those.
So definitely the riders,
Right.
there's, chronic care rider, disability waiver. So they are, and a lot of people don't usually talk about that a lot, because it's like, I got this and I think I have it. I don't know how long I have it for, but making sure like you add those bells and whistles, because the biggest thing that I can, tell everyone is like, when you get something, you put something in place, you want to be able to set something up so you have options later. That's the whole point of us planning, right? Because you don't want to get to the table and be like, yeah, this is what I got. I only have this. So you want to be able to, because we don't know what life is going to give us. Are we going to die too soon? Are we going to live too long? That type of thing. So you want to be able to kind of like have a moving parts within it too.
So if somebody, I'm assuming this would, and I may be wrong here, that's why she's here. If we have a term life that normally would have taken someone to age 65, when your Social Security kicks in or whatever. But now they're living to 85. My
Mhm.
uncle just passed away. He was 88.
Okay.
So people are living longer. Can they convert that policy, or do they have to cash out with that policy and start a new one if they want to continue that on? Does that make sense?
Yes. So
Okay.
everyone always has to remember life insurance based on your age and your health. That
Right.
is what your qualifies you. So the longer you wait, the older you are, the higher premiums become, right? Because you're more at risk,
Sure,
to the insurance.
sure,
So that's why we kind of talk about them. Like when you're setting this up, I'm planning. You're thinking about the now. I'm planning for you, 40 years from now. So it's kind of like looking at that and be like, hey, put a little bit of this in place, and kind of like focus on the later on the permanent. So you have to call your insurance company, and they typically will, give you that option. But it's usually there's a huge difference between term and whole life converting at that time.
Okay, cool. I see Adam from down in Charleston. Hey, Adam, I hope you are doing well. Adam is joining us down there. He has a question. He said, can you speak to the customer service of New York Life and their willingness to work with clients during hard times? Example, what if I miss a month of premiums and something tragic happens?
So that's a great question, Adam. Thank you so much. So even during COVID, New York Life took a very active approach to making sure that we were supporting our clients. And if something happened, they did not cancel policies or anything like that. So it was about communication and agents. We made sure that we called our clients and checked in with them and asked them, I'm like, hey, what's going on? Do you need help, assistance, anything like that? So yes, we work with our clients.
Well, and that's also a great point of why you would work with a company that's been around for
Mhm.
175 years. They have that resource or that ability to work with their clients.
So that's the difference, right? Because I usually get beat up on cost, right? And it's like I don't have like a buy one get one policy for free or something. Like I don't have a coupon. But it's true. I'm like, so what you want to consider when you're looking for an insurance company is the financial strength, because at the end of the day, the promise of being able to pay that out, that's what you're paying for, right? And so I'm like, I make fun of my husband because he's like, well, Howard Stern says I can get, $1 million for $10. I said, well, go with Howard then, but I'll stick on my side. But that's exactly, sometimes I tell people, I'm like, it sounds too good to be true. Usually is. So you should ask some more questions about
At
that.
the end of the Howard Stern commercials, there's always that when he's talking about the $10 life insurance, he also, at the end of it, it'll be, but wait, there's more. And if you call the number today, you can save 25% with this TV code, whatever.
I'm like, Howard doesn't know anything about life insurance. It's just face him. Like he's just,
he get paid. He gets paid to do that commercial.
Yes.
So keep that in mind. So we talked about some of the other products that you guys have, but is there one particular product aside from life insurance that you see more and more people going toward?
So, we also do a lot of annuities. So that's what we're known for as well. And because of the volatility in the market, some people, they want safety, right? They want, especially when you're getting closer to retirement age and everything like that, you want to be able to kind of say, hey, I can't stand this risk anymore. So looking and working with clients about, fixed annuities and different products that it's at the end of the day, like I said, Mike, you have to sit with a client because each one has a different story and each one has a different goal. So it's not that, there's a cookie cutter. If I usually, yell at people, I'm like, well, I saved money when I bundled. I'm like, okay, let's go over that. So yeah, so please don't call me and say, hey, I bundled my life insurance with my car insurance. I'm like, no, it's not good. Do not bundle.
So you as an agent have to be almost like have that crystal ball so you can see into their future.
So, I'm like, well, let's just face it. I'm like, everyone's going to die. It's 100% guaranteed. So might as well bet on it. Most people are like, well, I'm not going to be here, but it's a lost love letter that you're able to leave your family, right? So what my job is.
You need to get that on a coaster or something.
Stick around.
Call Michelle from last week. She can help you out.
Hey, I got a referral, Michelle.
There you go.
So yes, it's one of those things that you just kind of like want to make sure that you have everything in place to be able to have again options later on. Because if you don't have options, I can't help you. I don't. Once you become ill or get some kind of disease or whatever, and like cancer is very high, I'm like,
it's a life event.
Mm-hmm.
That happens too, so that changes things.
That's what I'm saying. So you typically, we have a lot of diseases that it doesn't necessarily kill us, right? But it hinders our health, and that hinders a lot of other things, that affects our retirement, our life insurance, our assets, and everything.
Yeah. Well, before we go to break, Ulitza, I want to tell you that we have a new guy that is working on the GBN mobile app who is from North Africa. I didn't get to tell you that before the show.
Okay.
And the one thing that I have learned is that, and usually it's the other way around. So people from the north speak a little faster, people from the south talk a little slower. That's not the truth in Africa. He speaks slower than I do. She's like 900 miles an hour. So in North Africa is that part of the earth upside down? I don't know. but anyway, so he's in North Africa, but he's awesome. He's awesome. So that was funny. Oh, look, Carlos is joining us. He's from our River Oaks chapter over here in Myrtle Beach. And Carlos, thanks for joining us. And best agent in South Carolina. Is that her as a insurance agent? Is that me as a real estate agent? You need to clarify that for us, Carlos. So just picking. She's also. Oh, Adam had a question too. Let's see if we can get to that before the bank. How many actual insurance policies can one have at a time? And do they have to be the same type? That's a good question, Adam.
So
I think Adam did his homework.
I know. I'm like, oh, I like it.
Yeah.
So you can have, there's no specific number, right? But what you have to keep in mind, so from an insurance perspective, there has to be an interest and a need. So someone can't be like getting, $4 $10 million policies. Right. So you can have, like a whole life, a term, or
have to start looking for their wife at that point.
Yeah, exactly. But no, so there's no specific need. It's about what the need is for it, because otherwise that will trigger a red flag, and then that will kind of get you the client or whatever. So we can't just keep writing insurance policies on everyone. There has to be, as a fiduciary, a need for it.
Perfect. Well, stick around after the break. We're going to come back right after the commercial, and Ulitza and I are going to talk about the basics and life insurance 101. So what you need to get started. And also, don't forget, we're going to have our drawing. So after the break, we'll get that started as well, and we'll have a giveaway. So stick with us. GBN will be right back.
Hi, I'm Justice Sann. I've been a canine liaison at Grand Strand Law Group for, 30 years? What's that? You don't believe me? I meant 30 dog years, of course. First rule of lawyering, read the fine print. Anywho, my humans at Grand Strand Law Group have a combined 20 years experience. I know, not as much as me, but that's in people years. So yeah, still pretty impressive. Real estate, estate planning, or probate, you need GSLG.
Grand Strand Law Group. Trust us, we have a dog.
Great Business Networking grew out of the idea that by creating lasting friendships within the community, we can make the community even better.
I was looking to network with professionals and to be able to refer my clients to somebody that I trust.
Well, it's really important to trust the members of the group because we really generate quality referrals, and to know somebody, be friends with them, and get that qualified referral is the key to success.
It is networking, but it doesn't feel like networking, and that is important to me. I come to the meetings, I have fun, I make great connections, and I help grow my business.
GBN, these are some of the best professionals in the market, and having that resource available to me, that's priceless.
Well, GBN is a network of business professionals that build long-lasting friendships that will not only grow my business, will grow yours as well. That's what referral marketing is all about.
GBN really is the most important marketing for your business. Check us out today. All right, guys, welcome back to GBN Live. Todd Cartner here, your host, and I have Ulitza Kronemeyer with me today with New York Life. And don't forget, if you have any questions, please put those in the comments below. We'll try to get those on the air before we end the show, or you can call in at 843-602-9880. Ulitza, let's talk about the basics of life insurance. What do we need to do? What do we need to know before we ever speak to an agent? And then once we speak to an agent, what are the things that you're looking for that we need to be prepared for?
So I definitely, because of technology, anything, you have a lot of information online that you can request. So sometimes that's a little bit deceiving because, again, a lot of people give me a hard time about blood work, right? And doing that up front. So each company has a different way of how they, use their applications and everything like that. But for most part, from our side, I'm like, we complete an application. You are going to speak to an underwriter. We do blood work depending on the amount of the insurance, and then pull doctor records. So the biggest thing is just being kind of like the same thing in your field. I'm like, we need clients because some things I can't do,
Right.
and that's your homework. It's kind of like what we call it. So doing that, but typically on my side, I'm like, I'm here. I'm the one asking questions. I'll kind of help guide you through the process. And that, again, is the difference between having an agent in front of you and doing it online.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing it online, I'm like, you necessarily don't know. They don't know how much you need. I mean, how much life insurance do you need? Right? That's usually a big one. And, what, like Adam was also like, which type do you need? Right? Because there's a type for everyone. I'm like, everyone has a different kind of goal and, purpose. So being able to kind of get your goal and your story and putting that in place.
I know you've heard me say this many times. Several people out there that know me that has seen this show, or even in general, even with our networking chapters, is that it's so important to know, like, and trust the person that you're working with. And that goes the other way too with the client that a lot of people don't see.
Yes.
You got to know, like, and trust the client. So you got to trust that they're going to give you the right information. You got to know what their needs are. And then you got to make sure that you like working with that client too. And it makes a world of difference. And speaking of, our wonderful Deb Zimmerman just said, Ulitza is the best life insurance agent, very knowledgeable and cares about you and your family. And I think Deb is trying to get you to buy her lunch or something. But yes, Deb, you're yeah, right. Deb is absolutely fabulous. You're absolutely right. So, so that those are some good things. And it doesn't take long to sit down with somebody. A lot of times it probably just be a phone call to answer some of those quick questions that go from there. So it's time for our rapid fire questions that Ulitza is nervous about. So these are just one or two word answers here. You ready?
Okay.
Here we go. First job.
Nanny.
Night owl or early bird?
Oh, early.
And she is not kidding, because I have seen her post at 4:00 in the morning. And unfortunately, I've responded sometimes or liked it or whatever. So, right.
Yes,
dog or cat person?
Dog.
Dark or milk chocolate?
Milk.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Favorite color?
Green.
Green?
Yeah.
You don't hear that one often. That's good.
Really?
You don't really? No.
Okay.
But anyway, I like it. No, green's fine. I love it. Favorite word or phrase?
That's not a hard one. That's just like typing.
We can't be all easy.
Selfie. Yes.
What?
Selfie.
Oh, yeah, that's true with you. You're absolutely right. Favorite movie?
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
Yes.
Nice. This one was hard for Michelle last week.
Okay.
Favorite song?
Brooklyn just asked me that too. And I was like, I have no idea. Okay, so, but I will have to say, I'm like, Summer of '69, Bryan Adams.
Oh, there you go.
I'm like, it's just like an oldie and a goodie. I'm like, it always comes back. So it's my easy one.
I love it. Favorite vacation spot?
Right now, Beach Mountain.
Oh, yeah. I love BMAC. And favorite mobile app that you use regularly?
GBN.
No, it doesn't have to be GBN, but that's great. No, seriously.
Favorite mobile app? Right now, currently for the last couple of years, it's been Stash.
Oh, nice.
I like it.
Yeah, there you go.
I get excited when I love it. Yeah,
that's really cool. Good. All right. Well, there's our rapid fire. And look, Adam is full of questions today. I love it, Al. Can the life insurance be used to supplement your retirement or senior living?
So depending on what product you get, but yes, so I actually have an option to get a chronic care rider onto my whole life policies that actually can be used for that. So again, being able to switch that to whether you die too young or have to, need it for senior living. So yes.
Oh, that's cool. And that kind of leads us into our next question let's talk about cashing out a policy, because some are not allowed to be cashed out, right?
Yes.
Or cashed out early, I guess I should say.
Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely, again, it comes back to the different companies. So New York Life, like I mentioned before, is a mutual company. So we offer dividends, to our clients. It's not guaranteed, but basically, when New York Life is profitable, they pay that back to their qualified policyholders. Right. So in that sense, I'm like, you have policies that grows cash value. And then what we can do is kind of sit down, and as the longer you keep a policy, the more it accrues, right? And you can cash it out at any time, right? So there's a couple different ways. I'm like, you don't necessarily have to surrender your policy. and your agent can help you with that, where you can borrow from it and still keep your policy in place and still continue having life insurance.
And some of those, when you borrow from it, is tax-free, right? As long as you reinvest it. Is that?
So there's.
Am I wrong?
From
Maybe, I don't know.
a compliance standpoint, don't want to go too far into that. But yeah, so typically, like how you structure your policy, there could be tax advantages for you to be able to use life insurance. I mean, again, I'm like, I had no idea about whole life, right? I'm like, I had term before I started working here. And I've heard the stories about, and that's what excites me about it, is like, I've had business owners, right, that has had a whole life policy, and they started their business by borrowing from it, instead of going to the bank, because you're paying yourself back, stuff like that.
Right.
So it's really, the more knowledgeable, the more questions you ask, Adam, I appreciate that. That's kind of like how you learn what the need of life insurance, because there's more to it. It's not, you don't just have to die for someone to benefit from it. There's living benefits that comes with it as well.
This is why you have an expert.
Yes.
So one thing that I learned, I did a little research before the show, and one thing I learned that I wasn't aware of is that New York Life actually has programs that can help small businesses. And GBN as a whole, for those that are watching, is all about growing your business. Our job is to help each other grow your business. So tell us a little bit about how New York Life can do that and how that would look for a small business owner.
So, it's great because we can actually...
we have Dancing Debbie down here in the corner, guys. That means that you need to put in hashtag GBN Rocks on your comment section, and we will enter you into the drawing, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Boy, she's happy, isn't she?
I know.
We need to get Michelle to do that. So as long as Dancing Debbie is up, you can enter into the drawing. So I'm sorry, let's go back into that small business part.
Yes. So New York Life can actually help. We do employees insurance for companies, depending on kind of what company you have. We can set up retirement accounts. And also we have income disability, we have health insurance.
Oh, wow.
So we kind of go a well-rounded wheelhouse, and just depending on what the business type is, we do key man policies, protecting business owners, buy-sell agreements, everything like that. So working with tax professionals and attorneys.
That's good to know. And, so guys, I tell you, we have learned a lot here. We're coming to the end of the show. Let's put up Ulitza's contact information, and here's her phone number that you can reach her, or you can find her online on Facebook, because she's on there all day long. But she's on there all day. I think she has something scheduled every 3 minutes, but she's great. I love it. Ulitza's phone number is 843-957-0577. That's 843-957-0577. Reach out to her because she is a wealth of knowledge. We are so proud and happy that you're a part of GBN. And speaking of GBN, let's talk about what it means to you to be in a networking organization and why that is so important. I know you're all over the beach. You're into so many things, but tell us about why that part is important, and then why did you choose GBN?
So you're right. I'm like, I do network a lot because of the nature of my work, right? So I have to talk to a lot of people. But I think the thing that I really love about GBN is it, as a business owner, right? I'm like, there's no one that tells me to get up and go to work or whatever. I have to do it myself. So it holds me accountable.
Right.
I have 30 people waiting for me, that I need to learn about their business and they want to promote me. So it's like a mutual respect, right? But it's huge with my accountability and building relationships and networks in the area. It's the fastest way to do it. I'm like, I literally go, I have fun. I get to talk to people that I love networking with. So, and get to know more about them. And you never know who they know, right? So, friends first.
That's right. And, one thing you just kind of mentioned, you never know who they know as well, because Nick says he wishes he could wake up with Ulitza's energy every day. I agree with you 100%, Nick. Thanks for tuning in. But you're absolutely right. You're going each week, and our philosophy is friends first, business second. It's like you get to see your best friends every week. And when you have that kind of relationship, you're automatically going to grow your business.
Exactly. So that's what I'm like. It's people think, we've talked about it before, social media and posting them. Like, I want to promote them. It's the easiest way because I know these people. They've done I've used them. So I will promote them in the day.
Well, guys, I'll tell you right now, if you are looking for life insurance, or even if you just need more knowledge about it, you're not going to find any better person to talk to than Ulitza. Thank you for joining us today. Before we get rid of Ulitza here, we're gonna pull up our giveaway right quick. Today, our giveaway is brought to you by Walk-On's Sports Bistro, and we're going to hit the draw button there, and we're going to go through and see who is joining us and put in hashtag GBN Rocks. And the winner this week is the one and only Terry. Terry is part of our Myrtle Beach chapter. Yep. And Terry, thanks for joining in, and we'll get your information. I will see you tomorrow, actually, Terry, because I'm coming to your chapter in the morning at 7:30. I am going to be the one and only Alexa. I got to find a wig.
You do.
I got to find a wig. So, yeah. So next week we have with us Will Smith, who is with Valera, and that is the Will Smith, the one and only Will Smith. So make sure that you joining us then. That's right. Yeah, I know I'm sure he gets a lot of crazy phone calls, doesn't he? So, but anyway, guys, remember, if it's Wednesday, it's GBN Live. We'll see you next week.